Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 11:22 a.m. on the 6th of January 2024. I've been trying to make this video for the past hour and I've had terrible trouble with my laptop. It's almost like it had something taking it over, like it's some remote thing. It was weird. So I tried scanning it, but my free trial's not working. I don't know why. And so I struggled, and finally, after switching my computer on and off several times, a little intuition said, give it another go now. And I've got in. I've even managed to bring up my memories of even date. It's almost miraculous, but it should work the first time, right? You shouldn't have to be battling like this. As you can see, I'm a bit tired. My eyes are a bit sore. I had a wonderful night last night, again at the Brooklyn Standard. A Ramjet were playing. I found out that the singer, I asked her name, because it's embarrassing not knowing people's names. So I asked the singer Ramjet what her name is, and her name is Ness. So I'll remember now. I won't continuously, forget people's names. I'll make a point of remembering that now. Lovely woman. So she said to me, I said to her, my name's Tanya, and she said to me, pronounce Tanya, not Tanya, right? Which is a little in-joke because we're both New Zealanders. I said, yes, the Kiwi way, and she laughed too, Lovely, lovely woman. So at the very late at night, at the very end of the night, Alex arrived with Stacey. So we didn't get to do much of the moshing because he arrived for the last few songs, and they weren't really moshing songs. But he moshed anyway I can't remember what the song was. Anyway, he enjoyed himself. Lovely young man. And, so I left as soon as the band left because I was actually utterly exhausted. I was wearing my very high stiletto. Oh, they're not quite stilettos, but anyway, they're very high-heeled, strappy sandals, and by the end of the night, it was torture. So Scott from Alter Egos is right. I need to start wearing sneakers. It's like I'm torturing myself. But anyway, at the end of the night, it's time to go home anyway, because when the band's finish, it's pretty much over. So, so I had a lovely time, and I'm glad I went out, and I danced a lot, and now I'm weary. And this old lady pushing herself to the nth degree is getting a bit ridiculous, people, but I enjoy it and I need the exercise. And coming up with these weird kind of pimples, I don't even know what that is, some kind of pimple or something. There's another one there, I don't know. Anyway, I might be an old lady, but I still get zits. Isn't that attractive, darlings? Not. Anyway, so it was very quiet. Actually, I didn't have to queue up when I arrived about 10:25. It was very quiet last night. I guess most people have gone on holiday. But then, oddly, by the end of the night, it got quite busy. So that was odd because it's usually the other way around, busy early on and then it thins out towards the end of the night. But anyway, I had a lovely time. And next week, Alter Egos are playing, so if I feel okay, I'll be out again. And, feel a bit at a loose end today. It's probably just being a bit tired. But I feel like I should go and do something. The weather's still very murky and changeable and weird, and there's not much we can do about that. So, there's a strange vibe at the moment. Sort of like some kind of shift. I've got paper cuts on my thumb. I'm just wondering why that hurt so much. Don't know how I did that. Anyway, so we continue with today's readings, and it's titled wrote this title in 2022. The gods must be crazy, but they are very much involved in my becoming older, wiser, more creative, and at peace with my life at long last. And I post a beautiful photograph of the Beau, the one and only Beau, who's now in Valhalla. My beautiful Beau. Anyway, what can you do? Now my computer's playing up again. It's so hard, this thing. I don't know why it's like this. Alright, here we go. Let's go again. Keeps freezing. And it won't scroll back, so I'll have to talk to it some more. Oh my goodness. Right, here we are. 6th of January 2023. I have had a nice day. A walk with Bobo and Charlie, followed by a visit from Lynn. We sat under the trees and chatted. Later Peter came past with little Coco, so I got lots of poodle pooch kisses as well. I am still not feeling well, but that is life. Hopefully this goes away soon. It's not pleasant. 6th of January 2022. I have spent most of the day decluttering my mother's old market stock. Then I made a beautiful pendant from an antique sterling silver pickle fork. Then my daughter arrived, so I had her sort through all the old market stock for anything she wanted to keep for herself or to use in art projects. Then I brought out the broken jewellery hoard, so we sorted through that to give to Bethany, who is very artistic and will make lovely things from it. So now my room is looking emptier and saner by the minute. I am keeping only the beads, etc., that I know I will use in my own projects. The rest can just go. My new sterling silver bezel wire arrived today, so that will be my next learning journey, teaching myself how to set gemstones in bezels, which involves soldering. But I decided to start buying supplies when I can afford to, as this will inspire me to begin when the muse hits. Which reminds me, I still need to put jump rings on those pendants I made the other day. The muse is not really with me lately. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's just the incessant heat. It's really getting to me and everyone. Oh my goodness, I can't get this to work. And if I can't get this to work, I can't do my video. And it's driving me mad, people. Right, here we are. Where are we now? I went through my scrap box of sterling silver and decided to make the pendant today. Rather randomly. So what I'll do is I'll just randomly go, I'm doing this, and it'll just hit me like out of, almost like a bolt of lightning out of nowhere. That's why I call it the muse. I also cut out with my jewellery saw 2 round discs out of scrap silver. Tomorrow I will dome them, which was another thing I was learning how to do. Come on, why do you do this? Rotting bloody thing. Now it's thinking. Don't think too long, computer. So these few little jobs took up most of the afternoon and evening. I may have to re-glue the pearls on the pendant tomorrow. They don't feel like they are setting. Tired but contented, and freeing myself of old defunct energy feels good too. Smiley face. And now it won't bloody behave itself again. Come on. Finally. Just when you give up, and I go, I'm just going to give up, it'll start working. But anyway, that's the pendant I made. But yes, the little tiny pearls on the ends fell off, so I've got to figure out a way how to attach them so that they don't get knocked off so easily or fall off so easily. I'm not sure how to do it. I'm thinking maybe wire them on with sterling silver wire, but then I'll have to glue it at the base somehow. But I'll work it out. I'm on this journey of teaching myself how to be a jeweler, so I have to think outside the square and work things out, be creative. And if I can't do it after trying numerous times, I'll have to ask an expert, won't I? Which it gets a bit like that sometimes. Finding an expert when you need one isn't always easy, but it's okay. 6th of January 2021. It has just come to my attention that some of my writing on Facebook do not come up on my memories. I stumbled across the last one as it was one I had sent a copy of to my psychiatrist for my file, and so I realised that it was missing from today's memories. I must print out the ones that have great writing or good stories. They just get lost in Facebook world otherwise, which is why I started copying everything across to Vocal Media. But the other day I realised my Christmas Day writings, there was a wonderful story I wrote about how I was picked up by a random bikie after leaving the clubhouse where I was set up by some horrible people. Set up, well, nothing too bad, but they refused to give me a lift home, which they had promised. Basically because I wouldn't sleep with one of their mates, which I was livid about because I'm no onion and I'm not a prostitute and I'm not a tramp and I won't be treated like that. So I walked out on my own 2 feet, and then mysteriously as I was walking down Maruka Way looking for the train station, some man driving up in his ute offered me a lift, which this is at 5 o'clock in the morning. And the funny thing was, he said to me, have you come from that place? He knew the general direction. So it was a bit odd. It's almost like someone sent him to find me and get me home safe. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, so it can't possibly be what happened, but it felt like it was almost my Christmas miracle, right? So I wrote about it, and that story has been deleted off Vocal Media, for which I'm livid. Apparently they don't like you talking about bikies or subcultures or real life, the twats. But anyway, what can you do? People are going to be judgmental and ignorant about the perceived alternative lifestyles and the underbelly and the poorer folk, right? And it's really pointless and stupid because people are people everywhere across all echelons of society. We all have hearts. We all have souls. We all put our pants on one leg at a time. And so I don't judge people. I just won't be bullied into sleeping with people, especially when they knew from the beginning that's not my agenda why I was there. I was looking for a partner, not a cheap freaking roll in the hay bonk. But anyway, there that is it, mate. It was a lovely story. So now I have to go through and my Facebook archives and see if I can still find it in there, which, as I say here, they've deleted stuff off there too. which is rude, silencing a person's truth, right? Anyway, I will find it. If it's still in there, I'll find it and I will print it out. And I might even publish it one day, because no one has a right to silence my truth. And it was a lovely story, because it was very odd circumstances that man came to rescue me and drove me to my front door, by the way. And my words to him were, "Thank you for the Christmas miracle, but I will never see you again," because I didn't want to be stalked by him. He was a Vietnam vet, and he actually perfectly understood my trauma issues and was lovely. I was terrified, a bit terrified, getting in a stranger's car at 5 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, he said to me, "I don't know why you're at that place." He said, "You should join my clubhouse." I said, "Oh, what's your clubhouse?" He tells me the name. I said, "Where do you hang out?" "Oh, we're over at Sunnybank Way or whatever." I just laughed. I said, "What do you think I am? The clubhouse troll going from clubhouse to clubhouse to clubhouse?" He laughed too. He said, "Oh, you'd be welcome at our clubhouse, lovey, any time." Oh, yeah, I bet, big boy. He really liked me, that fellow. But he was a nice man, a decent man, a rarity in this paradigm, right? Mind you, that was back in 2012, so Christmas Day 2012. So life is quite unusual at times. Let me just see. Here I post a meme. "Have you ever seen a ghost?" And I replied, "Yes, in November 2018. Black Douglas standing beside my bed. Well, sort of floating beside me, as I could not see his feet, but I saw his kilt, shirt, face, and hair very clearly. I closed my eyes, as I could not believe them, and opened them again, and he was still there. So calmly I asked, 'What is your name, spirit?' And in a ticker tape banner running across my mind's eye, like almost reading inside my head, like it was a movie projection on the screen, right? It was weird. He said, "Black Douglas." And then I've written that he disappeared, but it's not quite the full story. He said, "Black Douglas," and I was so astonished. I said, "What, like the whiskey?" And he looked at me with absolute condemnation and condescension, because I'm sure the whiskey was invented long after his death. He had no idea that there was a whiskey made after him. So he looked at me in absolute kind of disgust and then disappeared. I had to Google who he was and discovered he was Sir James Douglas, the friend and compatriot of Robert the Bruce. And here we have trouble with the sidebar again. It's driving me mad, people. It's driving me mad, people. It's driving me mad. What would Sir James Douglas do? They didn't have laptops back in the day. What would Black Douglas do? "Cut off ye head, lassie. Cut off ye head." Please don't cut off my head. It's not my fault I'm inadequate. My laptop's not working properly and I don't know why. Right, here we go. It's gone all over the show. Way, way, way past where we were reading. Right, here we go. We're getting there, people. Sorry. I still have no idea what his message was or why he appeared at my bedside while I was watching Gaia documentaries on my laptop. I was fully awake and conscious, so it was very startling. And that was back in 2018. I've come to the conclusion he's one of my spirit protectors. He came to protect me. I wasn't conscious of needing all that much protection. I was dancing in those days at the casino, but you know, anytime I felt unsafe, all I had to do was say, "Are you there?" And the energy would shift. So very powerful. But I don't call upon them very often because I've got to manage this life in my own body and mind and spirit, not rely on ancestors or, well, I don't know if he was an ancestor because my family tree doesn't go back to the 1200s, but I don't know what his attachment to me was, but it was powerful and it was quite poignant, you know. It's going all over the place again. And scroll down here. Try this one. No, won't work. Try this. Try this. Keep going. A little bit more. Oh, what do the Irish say? Faith and Begorra. I wish this jinn would get out of my computer. It's probably not a jinn, it's probably some virus. Going out of my mind, people. I'm going out of my mind trying to do this. For what purpose? Just to look like a crazy woman on the internet. Anyway, the moral of that story is I from time to time I call upon my angels or the ancestors that love me for protection. And it's astonishing how in a nanosecond you can feel the shift in vibration, that they are actually there with me. It's not a coincidence, it's happened too many times. But like I say, I don't like to call upon them because I'm arrogant. I like to think I can manage this life alone, right? There's times when you realise you just need a little bit of extra support. And you have to ask. It's a cosmic law. I could do with some support with my love life because I'm really depressed about it all. Just it flickered and it started blossoming beautifully, and then I made a video that I can't have certain circumstances, like I can't fall in love with married men because that's going to be a long-standing wounding grief that goes nowhere, and I will be the one that will lose out ultimately. When you're the other woman, you always lose out, and I don't want to be another woman, the other. I want to be the chosen one. And I made a video about all the other conditions that I won't accept. And I tell you what, there's a change in attitude towards me. They've all gone a bit cold. But look, I'm okay with that because we need to protect each other's situations, you know. We need. I do it when I make these videos and I go on like that. I'm actually being protective of not just me, but other people's emotions too. I don't want to lead people on or down a garden path to the fucking highway to hell where people have to like get their heart broken or get my heart broken. I don't want another situation like I had with Dave for 10 years that was just awful. I don't want that. So I'm trying to set boundaries and limits on my own. Sometimes a little bit of innovation and excitement when I meet someone I think's lovely, and then I realise, wait a minute, that's not going to be any good because they're not sincere. Or they just want to, have me on their bowstring and some weird fucked up BDSM game. I don't want that. That's not how I want to have a partnership. I'm not into that sick scene anyway. I know it's weird because I dress in corsets and I am very powerful in my core, and I come across, I guess, to some men as dominating, but it's not actually what I'm about. That's the cosmic joke, right? My angels made me very strong and powerful spiritually, and my masculine attributes do come out when I'm in protector mode. And so it turns some men on and terrifies others, and I can't win because there's no middle ground. But anyway, 4:23 a.m, still not sleeping but feel very aware of an intense movement in the force. I just need to ride this wave to its penultimate outcome, praying that it is beneficial with harm to none and competition with none. That my angels bless and protect me, as only they have the higher knowledge of what is most needed in my life right now. Sleep. Lol. I will be resting today, as I will be overtired and ergo overstimulated. It's not good when I'm overstimulated. I launch into hypomania. Busy morning, making homemade granola, made some paper pulp. Humidity is intense, sweating, yuck. Another storm due today, which will break up the atmosphere somewhat. You can tell when I'm tired because I just talk in very small phrases instead of my usual flowery, colourful, descriptive writing. And if I'm really, really tired or really, really, really fucking angry, I don't speak at all. And that's when my close friends really worry. They go, oh, she's brewing something. So I'm normally a very emotional, constantly creative communicator. I love communicating. I love having my voice. Waste not, want not. From refuse, my glasses are hurting me for some weird reason. From refuse, clicking into this. This is the problem. From refuse, we can and must rebuild. Never fuck with the Tanya. She is still wanting to have some fun before she dies, for real next time. Never, ever, ever let the bastards grind her, me, down. Let infinite, true and holy love be my guide, my protector and my bliss. Amen v'salah. Why salah? It is an adjuration, in brackets, question mark, adoration, to the angels. Who were the angels? Beings that visited our earth from another dimension or planet. The gods, extraterrestrials. But I still believe in the one God, the one consciousness that created all life forms across the multiverses. We all belong, but some of us have forgotten whom we are and whom we stand before. Some have chosen to do evil in the sight of the Holy One. So the One must pick off the verminous, treacherous fleas that fed upon the host and cast them back into the vortices of existence for as many eons as it takes for those dark ones to wake up and rejoin the one consciousness that is love, equilibrium, peace, respect, and decency, i.e., righteousness. I had to almost die at the hands of vile mortals one too many times for my spirit, my neshama, to finally reaffirm its mission. Wake up, number 37. Wake up, sleeping beauty. Wake up from the psychedelic dreaming that swirls in eternal conscious awareness that is also, but is also the Jungian shadow that sabotages and depletes me and verily kills me. I sipped from the glutted, lustful tables of fools. I stared down mine enemies. I even cursed them, bound them to their karmic grindstone, where they now await me with glee. So I could grow back into life again and find my peace and my light. And my joy, and reclaim my long-awaited love, which is a prized treasure not yet fully activated because I refuse to submit to cruel, empty, hollow men with snake-like dicks and split, i.e. fractured, personalities and such weak ineptness that they cast their lovers at me like whorish Babylonian mirrors, portals from hell, which shimmer and shade as the mirage of love for the Tanya, demonic. A real man would never try this with me. It's an old trope deployed before by past lovers. A game of one hand slapping its own meat, just saying. But the gods are watching and waiting and have thrown me high into the esteem of unseen ones that still mysteriously love me and have my back. Why? Even I do not presume to know that, but I have an inkling it is and or was because I did not give up when I finally tried to die by my own hand. And here we go with a blinking sidebar being monstrous again. My defiance. They vomited me back to earth to complete my mission, my curiosity, to advocate for the gods of light and for those still stumbling in Sisyphean, turmoil, still burdened with baser derelictions of honour and duty. I myself do still have a long, long way to go in my becoming. I still have anger and fear and conflict and resentment for all the abuses hurled at me. Infinite love will heal me one day, or in one moment, or in one breath away. But they are too intrigued by the quest to realize my mortal body could not sustain that much more trauma. I shit you not. As my evil, treacherous half-sister used to say to me, to victim blame me as she refused to stand with me every time it counted. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Well, I clawed my way back into my own psyche with 20 years of therapy, and the capricious, vicious, life-affirming, near-death experiences hurled at me by rapists and murderers. I grew back. I am riding my own broomstick now, driving my own chariot named Ein Sof, and recalibrating my own neshama daily, thanks to God, even though I still go out dancing on the Shabbat on the Friday night, wildly and triumphantly and defiantly. I still have a strong faith in God, the God of my understanding, who nourishes and protects me and sends me out into the fray like a true Viking. What can I say? It's a bit weird, people, but it's how I roll now after decades of trauma. And like I say, when I did think recent months about returning to the Jewish community and attending services again, and I saw how they were fating all the politicians, I just thought, oh yuck, I can't put myself through that. I just can't. It's not my walk. Busy morning, making homemade granola. Made some more paper pulp. Oh, wait a minute, I already wrote that before. Oh, all right, we won't be reading that again. Here I posted a piece of prose or poetry. Beatitudes for the weird. Blessed are the weird people, poets, misfits, writers, mystics, heretics, painters, and troubadours, for they teach us to see the world through different eyes. Blessed are those who embrace the intensity of life's pain and pleasure, for they shall be rewarded with uncommon ecstasy. We've just lost half of it. We've lost it. We're going down. Breaker, we're going down. Blessed are ye who see beauty in ugliness, for you shall transform our vision of how the world might be. Blessed are the bold and whimsical, for their imagination shatters ancient boundaries of fear for us all. Blessed are ye who are mocked for unbridled expression of love in all its forms. Oh dear Goddess, for your kind of crazy is exactly that freedom for which the world is unconsciously begging. My kind of crazy. My unbridled expression of love in all its forms. Thank you, Jan Attridge, for posting this, by the way. It's lovely. Blessed are those who have endured breaking by life, for they are the resplendent cracks through which the light shines. I don't have the actual author of that piece of writing, but it was posted by my friend Jan. But it's beautiful. I resonate with it so much. 6th of January 2020, watching Dracula on Netflix. The British dry, or rather wry humour is rather delightful. This is a comment I wrote on a piece of writing I did on 2019, but the comment is from 2020, if I can get back to it without my stupid laptop doing weird things. No, won't let me. Oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be a raging success and have a working laptop and maybe a desktop as well. Will I ever grow up though? Will I ever manifest my own prosperity? Will I ever get off this funk train to desolation? Will I? Perhaps. So here my comment I wrote, and then his next trick, he stalked me at drumming circle with yet another female for several months. Bear in mind we only meet monthly at drumming. Oh, but it got a little too weird even for my broad tastes, so I have removed myself, which I did temporarily. So I'm not missing out on my normal activities that I enjoy because of some fucked up idiot that is just perverted and could never make up his mind, right? I'm not doing it. Living my best life, no matter what, no matter who, to the best of my abilities. Trigger warning, suicide, mayhem and muck, fuck it, written on 6th of January 2019. So trigger warning means if you can't stomach it anymore, because I know I can't half the time, go and have a cup of tea and a lie down, people. Sometimes it's all you can do is go and have a cup of tea and lie down and sleep it off and try and wake up and strive for happiness in another moment in the space-time continuum, like I do by going dancing every weekend. My defiance and my happiness and my joy in the wild dance. I don't know how to process all the events of last night or early this morning. I had been gifted so many synchronous signs from the universe, but had tried to ignore them, knowing full well that I was being prepared for a ghastly, horrific, putrescent shock. I can't even. But life will go on, and my heart will go on, and my enemies, so sick and disturbed they cannot stop stalking me at the casino, shall merit their own reckoning. The karma train just wrecked them. I was not joking when I asked the gods to reveal true hearts and minds, and how quickly, within days, did that filthy ex-lover and his new love interest, she of the putrescent stinking vagina, pony up. Now I know his fascination with taunting me. He has outdone even himself in his bid to destroy me. And now sits with a woman who used, abused, and betrayed. Water finds its own level. I've just got it. It's just missing a few words here. Just play me. Just play me. Can the gin that's in my computer get the fuck out and return to its original source? Because you're annoying me now. I like to imagine there's a gin in this computer. I swear to God, it's almost got a life of its own, how it disobeys me. Water finds its own level and then it gets cut off. So I suspect there was more ravings there, but let go, let God, right? When going through hell, just keep going. 2019. And I posted a photograph of a kind of an engraving. I'm not very good at engraving, so I just kind of scratched into it. It's one thing I want to learn, is how to do proper engraving, people. There's lots of things I need to learn. So many things I need to learn, like how to be in a safe, adoring, mutually exclusive, caring, devoted, love relationship that endures. Oh, you have to laugh. I've never let go of that manifestation, though. I've never given up on that dream. One day it could happen, right? It could actually. When I thought it was starting to happen in recent months, I was so astonished, and then I went into full-blown warrior goddess mode when I realised I was just being played. Well, not even full-blown. Didn't do anything. I didn't exact revenge or anything. I just thought this is just all too weird. But anyway, I can't get the whole photo to come up, but it's of a spoon. There it is. A spoon, and I engraved an eye into it. The evil eye, right? For protection. It's just a symbol, people. It doesn't necessarily do anything or mean anything, but it's a cultural motif and meant to be a protective device. And I even coloured it with liver of sulphur and ammonia. It actually came out quite nice, and I have been unable to sell it. I might even wear it, like what the hell. I made all these lovely things and they're just lying around doing nothing, right? It's a bit tragic. It's why my self-esteem takes a plummet when I realise I can't even sell my things I've created, and makes me feel like I really am some useless piece of shit that's not wanted on this planet. But anyway, life goes on. I've got some serious editing I have to do in this. I can see a few little mistakes there that should not. This is a published piece by, how embarrassing. Oh well. Oh dear goddess, come on. I really feel like giving up, you know that? Can you see the frustration in my face? You get to learn all my emotions played out for you on YouTube because of my malfeasant laptop that won't do its job. Good try. Oh, well, there you go. Spank my ass and call it Judy. I found a way to scroll backwards using my keyboard. It's such a crazy computer. It's so dysfunctional. It's less functional than I am, and that's saying something, people. Oh dear goddess. Oh, here we are. This is what relief looks like on my face. Oh, you have to laugh. Right, here we go. All right, here's the rest of that story. It stopped at water finds its own level, right? And I continue on here. It is so ghastly and revolting, but as I have always done, I will rise above it. He is not worthy of me. Not of my love or my seeping grief, which has begun to stink worse than that foul woman's vagina. On a more beautiful note, I am valued and loved by a few rare precious humans. Another acquaintance came to me early in the evening, stood silently next to me, suffering, tears gently coursing down his cheeks. I said, "Are you okay?" and wiped the tears from his face. That was Peter, who was also an Englishman. And do you know, the casino is so savage, they banned him after that. Very soon after that. I can't help feeling it's because he displayed actual weakness and having a breakdown in the public sphere, which, you know, people are human, you know. Even men break down from time to time. But what do? Punish you. Ban you. It's evil is what it is. Absolutely evil. I said, "Are you okay?" and wiped the tears from his face. I said, "You need a cuddle." I wrapped my arms around him and pressed my body close to him, held him very, very tight. It wasn't a sexual thing. It was just giving him that level of comfort. He was actually a very kind man, and I'd known him long enough. I'd been back to, you know, his friend Barry's home with him one evening with another lady friend, and he was a perfect gentleman. So I knew he wasn't a predator or being creepy with me, and I could see his emotional distress was real, you know. I hope he's okay, because that was years ago now. That was 2019. Knowing that as a complex PTSD sufferer like me, he had an abusive childhood in England. Knowing the general vapid cruelties of so many in that venue. Knowing he recently attempted suicide. Knowing that no one really cares and they will push us to our own immolation. Push and push and push. With their filthy, empty, evil consorts and their filthy, empty, evil stalker friends. But this man needed me, and I was there in his moment of agony when so many were never there for me and mine. I held him, and I was Earth Mother, warrior goddess, pure, strong, comforting love from one who has known decades of treachery and heartache and desolation, one who walks the edge of her own razor blade daily. He said, sorry for crying and being human. And I said, never, ever apologize to anyone for being emotional. Ever. It's one of the things that Dave said to me early in our connection, that I was too emotional. He was a vicious fucking dog, you know, completely heartless. But he can drive around Brisbane City and follow me and stop behind me at red lights. But let's be fair, that was spiritual. That was nothing to do with him consciously. The poor motherfucker's reaping what he's sown, and I'm reaping what I sowed too. And that's true love, people. Never fuck with the Tanya, because she fucks herself up enough with it. I don't need any help from anyone else to be fucked up or fucked over, by the way. But yes, Peter was a lovely man. I mean, I wasn't interested in him romantically, but he was a kind soul. Like all of us broken ones, we deserve better. We really do. For as much as we are vilified for our hearts and minds and authenticity, we are ennobled by it. It is our superpower. One that only the spineless and cruel can never comprehend. I let him go with strong admonitions. Don't do anything stupid, don't suicide, and don't kill anyone. Later he came back to tell me he was feeling better and had won money. A delusion? Because it was a complete 180 turnaround in the space of a few hours, people. I thought, oh, that's a big sudden turnaround from having a complete meltdown. I worried for him most of the night, which I did. But on my walk to the 7-Eleven, I had my own foul enemies to face. By that I meant after my night of dancing. He had already stalked me at the Livewire bar, and my Irish friend had begged me not to turn around and look at him. I said, I will not live in fear of any man, ever, ever again. Not even my beloved. I did not turn around, but minutes later I spotted him spying behind other people in the crowd, like the gormless gimp he really is. His creep friend blatantly stared all night long, but he has been doing that for 4 years now. So I just rise above, and fucking shine. The band played Zombie, and in full passion and fury, I moshed to it. I turned to my Irish friend. Her name is Karen. I don't know why I was editing out her name. We're not friends anymore, and I don't need to redact her name because I'm not mentioning anything unkind about her private parts like I do with the other former friend turned enemy. But in her case, it's not an unkindness, it's actually happened to be the truth. But anyway, never forget the IRA, I said to Karen, and I staggered back, almost ready to faint, held my own. Because sometimes in full trance, while I'm dancing, I reach my trance zone, right? I bring back spirits and channel. And it's not meant malevolently, but I guess it can be a bit confronting, especially to unbelievers. A survivor, a warrior goddess, converging ancient timelines, ancient tribal traumas, and ancient spiritual but desecrated loves. A love that exists in another paradigm, out of mind and out of time, out of my brokenness and out of my soul. Gifted then sullied so much that now he sits with filthy, ghastly women. And I was begged for a kiss by a young drunk man as I walked past the two ghouls and their putrid ugliness. It was then that I lost it. The universe will push and tweak and kick and even rape me until I lose it, will it not? A kiss? I am very fussy about who I kiss these days. Too many nasty, filthy, dirty people in this city. Go on, it's just a kiss. Get away from me, young man. I swear to God, that young man was probably only in his early 20s. Like, it's really obscene how they behave towards a mature age woman going about her business, you know, on her way home. It's disgraceful. I marched into the 7-Eleven, past 4 streeties outside, all looking at me in awe. Not you, I said. You can never be as filthy as what I have just seen. Give us some money. I just gave a tenner to your mates outside the casino and told them to split it between them to buy a pie, and I hope they have honour amongst men and share it. So no, I can't afford to buy a pie for everyone. I am sorry. I stomp into the store and buy my customary 10 red licorice straps, which annoyingly they stopped selling in recent years. I used to enjoy getting my little red licorice straps at the end of my nights. After hours and hours of dancing, I needed to load up on sugar, right? That's why I'm not slim, people. But oh well, never mind. The young man behind the counter, who a few weeks ago told me I was hot when that strange woman bought me a pie. Pay it forward, she had said. Chatted with me about business being quiet. Everyone on holidays. Inshallah it will improve, I said. I stomp out. Do you like how I speak Arabic to Arabic speaking people? I try to connect with people in their own cultural motifs. It's quite sweet, really. I suppose it could be misinterpreted as racism, but it's not my intention. I just like to communicate, you know. Just like I used to like to speak in Yiddish and Hebrew when I was immersed in my community. Not that I speak fluent Yiddish or Hebrew, but I pepper my speech with a few Yiddish and Hebrew words. And look, I think it's one of my most endearing qualities, really, but people hate me anyway, so what can you do? They'll find another excuse to hate me. There's always an excuse to hate me, people. And do you think I give a fuck? I really don't. I stomp out and I look at the homeless men. I had told one of them I recognised him from Holland Park, and Mama T never ever forgets a face, but I love his work. So I felt bad for calling him out on his bogus itinerant status and said, "Boys, here, one for each of you, just so you know, I am no bitch." Like good little boys trapped inside men's bodies, they graciously accepted my sweet, sweet peace offering. The one who I recognised said to me, "My missus died on Boxing Day, so I won't be at Holland Park anymore." Oh, it's raining. "I am sorry then," I said. "This city absolutely crawls with pathological liars and filthy, dirty people, and I get so sick of it." And by that I was alluding to the two sitting there gloating, right? Waiting for me, knowing that I come out at the end of the night. It's just fucking toxic shit syndrome, but that's who they are, that's their spirit. He nodded, knowing, as only a trauma survivor on the streets can know, that I meant those others squatting like toads at the kebab shop. I leant over. "Here, let me gift you a kiss that was so much desired by someone else." I kiss his cheek. The young dude, still hovering, says, "Hey, I am still waiting for mine." I reply acidly, "Get away from me, you freak." The four homeless men look at me in awe and wonderment. I stomp past the ex-lover and ex-friend, saying, "Enjoy the untreated chlamydia that still refuses to get treatment after 4 years of her foul stink." I did say that, but it's true, and I stand by my truth, by the gods, and they did deserve that for their viciousness towards me, by the way. They deserve each other, putrid, ghastly humans. I walk back across the street, delighted that the crossing sign was green. The two homeless guys I gave $10 to show me gleefully that they have split the money with 2 fivers. Good men, I say. I like to see honourable people. I am pleased. One of them says, 40 years in the Navy, love." I reach down to him, shake his hand. "Thank you for your service." Shake his friend's hand. "Thank you for..." Well, no reason at all. Grin at him impishly. You can see by this that I'm really fucking triggered, people, but I'm riding through it like a fucking rider in a storm, right? As I do. A young man rides up on a skateboard. My energies twang all over the place. "Got $1?" he says. "Nup, and get away from me as you are macked off your face." "No, I'm not. This is my uncle and I have ADHD and Asperger's. I am not on anything. I am homeless." Yeah, don't be telling me your problems. I have had quite enough for one night." I look at him again, see sincerity in his face, soften slightly. I have many friends with Asperger's. Good, loyal, solid people. Bless you. I stagger in my very high heels back to the casino, get in the lift, drive home to my dog, my cats, my bird. On the highway, I think I could just end it right now. all of it, all the horror and grotesque tragicomedy bathos of my entire existence. But I remember my own advice to my acquaintance earlier. Don't suicide. Don't kill anyone. In between those two extremes, do what I want, whatever. Breathe. I got this. 11:11 a.m. Water finds its own level. All is well. I am loved. And here's a gorgeous photograph of my gorgeous boy, who was one of the biggest loves of my life. It's ironic that the biggest loves of my life, most of all, try and get it. We're not human. When your dog smiles at you and the whole world feels wonderful again. And there's more puppy spam, but I showed you the nicer photo, so that will do. 6th of January 2018, trigger warning, CSA, which stands for child sexual abuse, domestic violence, spiritual attacks, the Tanya whining about her odd berserker life, usual blathering and necessary purging, healing myself by speaking my truth and my memories. So, cup of tea time for those of you who can't take it, and here we go, soldiering on with the rest. I have been single for 23 years as of 1st of January 2018. Hard to imagine that I was ever married at all. So long ago, so much horror. But last night reminded me of my raison d'etre: freedom, joy, wildness, love, so much love. What I was created for by a benevolent God. So many pitfalls along the way. But look at me now. The child that was thrown across the room at 3 to keep me safe from my raging father, into a glass door by my mother for saying no at 6 years old, was slapped so hard I fell against another wall in that rental home at 74 Seymour Road, Elstonwick, when I again said no to Case's sexual advances. I swore at him and threatened to tell my father, which was a bluff, as I had known since I was 6 years old that my parents had no intention of protecting me from my mother's friends and or lovers. I was 9. At 11, I was already suicidal, being constantly bullied at St Kilda State School and living at home with dangerous, crazy people. My father dragging me to every Christian spiritualist church in Melbourne, soothing his own obsession with the gods, spirits, death, whilst at home my mother cracked Case's tooth for his inability to remain faithful. He kind of had it coming, but I was raised in an environment where love meant betrayal, danger, was perverse, toxic, unsafe for me, the child, the Tanya, the Desiree, the desired one. I developed an irrational anxiety for the gas heater in our apartment in Milton Street, Elwood. Bear in mind, it was actually 1014 Milton Street, Elwood. Bear in mind, my grandmother gassed herself in her oven in 1949. So I was probably picking up on that ancestral race memory, right? I must have been, because I don't think at that age I'd known about my grandmother gassing herself that way. Mum and Case would leave me alone each evening after dinner for several hours, and I would imagine demonic presences pouring through the grill of the gas heater. Also not realising at that early age how psychic I was. The energy of intense smog-like terror would coalesce until I would run screaming and sweating to my bedroom and lurch onto my bed from the doorway, turning off the lights as I ran, cowering under the blankets, praying, in those days, to that utterly useless, plagiarised, pilloried Jeebus man who was also sacrificed to a cause he never actually signed up for. I told my father, but as usual, he did not know what to do, so his response was to take me to the spiritualists. Save me, save me. Too young to save myself. No money, no safe parent to go to, living each day in a hell of epic proportions until eventually I got married. At 19 and 1 month I got married. And 8 days, let's be precise. Seeking a home and a family and of course, safety. Another kind of sacrifice. I thought it was a worthy one for a short time. Then after my escape from that stunted development of a goddess, Viking warrior, Jewish witch, wild woman, am I really a label, a gender, a title thrust upon me by the debased and ignorant? I learned of even greater fears and hells. Attacked and strangled not once, but 3 times. The last 2 attacks by lovers, the first one orchestrated and paid for by my then husband. Cowards and evil, bloodless curs. All of them. Enabled and even sponsored by the state of Queensland. Australia, mate. New Zealand no better or safer for little children and adult survivors, where justice is just ice and the criminal is lauded and sits in his wig and white collar behind a gavel and his sycophants. He has a degree or 2, you know, wise and benevolent. Yeah, right. Greed and abuse of power. I made that cunt flip his wig when I called him out on his misogyny after watching him destroy the lives of every other woman in that courtroom that day. I was the last to be seen, so I saw it all played out in front of me all day long. This place has cost me dear, but it's okay. I get to play now. I get to lift myself up from the gravel floor, broken but sublimely beautiful. Love does not exist for me, not yet. Another wall in a glass prism I can yearn and reach for, a captive in a golden cage. Please release me, let me go, for I don't love you anymore. Case crooning to his guitar, Gisela wiping sentimental tears from her eyes. My father smiling indulgently and clownishly. Tanya, as usual, rolling her eyes. For the love of the fuck, these people had no idea what love was or is. but I know I have held on for too long, cleaved my celibate body and soul to a man who was disinterested for too long. I became my family, pathetic, weak, cloying. It cost me love, real, abiding love. For 30 years, it cost me my very life. The hands are no longer on my throat. The hands that once ran across my naked body like a finely wrought instrument. Hands that had touched me in a quiver of delight, but came and came and came, then went. Glad to see them go. Evil, vicious, cruel. But I know what real love is. Do I? I do, don't I? It is everlasting, noble, loyal, faithful, and beautiful. Oh. It is delighting in small things. It is a touch that you know will never betray you, will never leave you. Not because it can't leave, but because it chooses every day to stay. To be with the one we choose out of joyfulness, freedom, tenderness, and respect. The hands that held me down and stopped me from providing a safe, prosperous, peaceful life for myself and my children, I curse you. I curse you to the seventh hells of the seventh hells, as much as once I had love for you. The punishment shall exponentially fit the crime. I forgive you, but the great spirit that designs our karmic playhouse, only she, he, or it will set us free. Sigh, sighs. Last night we danced, my beautiful Jenny and I. We danced our mystical crondom. We danced our joy. We merged our consciousness with the auric field. Hell, even that DJ that usually kills my vibe with awful techno house shite honoured us with a variety of music that was pleasing to our already exhausted but overridden senses. For the first time ever, I thanked him and gave him a thumbs up for playing well. Love, validation, peace. Peace. Pleasure in small things. My precious is coming. I don't know where or when, but I feel him close to me. Perhaps in another dimension, perhaps here and now. The heart knows its own syncopated resonance. Poor Tanya of the psychedelic dream, queen of her own life, goddess of her own becoming, daughter of Abraham and Sarah, whose genetic spawn wreaked murderous horror in my life. Call off your ghost dogs. Davidson, I adored you. You of your own self-proclaimed magnificent penis. The man who tried to kill me with his twisted, perverted love, then told all his bullying, ignorant friends and future wife, Tanya can do anything. I walked out on them then. It took many years to blow life back into my corpus, to find out exactly what I can do. Survive. Believe in myself. And learn to jive on my way to thrivedom. A long, hard, slow process. Meet me in Byron Bay someday. Always the psychedelic dreamer, manifesting fantasies into reality. Another thing I fail at miserably. 6th of January 2017. Well, being raised by a narcopath, my mother, and the other narcissists, Trevor, Angela and Case, also pedophiles and pedophile enablers, really fucked my vibe. But I grew up to be a decent person in spite of my complex PTSD. I put my pants on 1 foot at a time. I treat everyone I meet as equals and with respect. I am an individualist, but I also enjoy being part of a wider community. Everything in moderation. And that was in response to an article, What Happens When Narcissists Become Parents? This is what happens, the end result of narcopaths. And don't forget the narcopathic lovers that came later in life too. Fuck. I love Facebook. I have friends from all over the world. Some are even famous singers, musicians, actors, writers. I feel so blessed to be able to interact with people whom I admire and who have inspired me over many years. I love being surrounded by positive, successful people who share funny and important memes. I love Janice Ian's Trump memes and Bette Midler's witty epithets. I love how we can all share our concerns for our planet with humour and the occasional serious rant. I am blessed and grateful to know all of you. Thank you. I moved my woman Darla to the back door. I had to clean up her crystals with acetone as the varnish had gone icky and sticky, so now she needs a bit of repainting. One of my few art pieces and one of the best. I love the fact she terrified most men and Jehovah's Witnesses coming to my door. Here she is, my woman Darla. And Gail, who sometimes liked to trigger me, but was always scouring second-hand shops, bought that little sign that says in German, Willkommen, which means welcome. She was obsessed about me being part German. She used to like to play on that trope a bit, which was weird at times, but you know, what can I say? We Jews, we have a weird relationship to all things Germanic after the Holocaust, and it's completely understandable given the history, right? Completely fucking understandable. Here's a side view of I painted on the pregnant belly. It's a mandala, but I call her a woman Dala. All my wishes for my future. Here's another view. Satisfaction, creativity, and so on and so on. It's slowly manifesting, darlings. It's slowly manifesting. Still laughing at the Māori plumber that came to fix the sewage drains for Queensland Utilities that commented, "Whoa, is that a pregnant woman I see at your door?" I used to keep her on my front door, but too many men got terrified, frightened of a fecund female form. It's just insane, isn't it? I said, "Yeah, my woman Darla. Why, you scared?" He grinned and said, "Lady, it's not pregnant women that scare me, it's their babies." I hear ya, nasty little screamers. But hey, someone has to do it. Been there, done that. Now waiting for Godot as my kids refuse to breed. Oh well, the craziness stops with my line. Not such a bad thing in the broad scheme of things. Well, I've changed my mind about that. Now I'm angry about the stolen fertility from my daughters. Utterly, utterly livid I am, given they already had a very tiny window period now that the eldest is 38 and the youngest is 36. I will never forgive this government for the stolen fertility. In 2016, I commented on an article, "Baby dies following stabbing," that also injured 3 adults in Parkinson, south of Brisbane. And I commented, "Crazy, fucked up life in Brisbane suburbia, misogyny, violence against women and children, even infants, is escalating." I lived that nightmare for 18 months at Waterford West. I am so angry I can't breathe right now. I found a letter I thought was meant for Crystal. It said, "Crystal's mum." When I read it, my blood boiled over. It was from her last landlady who extorted money from Crystal when she landed in France and harassed her for months with lies that Crystal left the place in a squalid state, which has me so furious as I helped clean the place and I was one of the last to leave, so I know for a fact we left it clean. I have rung this evil, lying bitch and threatened her with the police if she ever contacts Crystal or myself again. I also rang the RTA and they told me the landlady went about getting money from Crystal all wrong. There is a formal dispute resolution process. I stated I felt she had preyed on my daughter, knowing she was in turmoil with the big move overseas. But until now, I had not got involved. But after reading this manipulative, nasty letter, it will be dealt with by me. Fuck with me, ba-bam. Fuck with my daughter. That is going too far. Especially as Crystal bought into her sociopathic lies and sent the woman loads of money for the sake of peace. It's actually extortion. We should have reported it to the police. It was full-on extortion what she did. When I know she did not owe her that much money, if any, as there was no bond. My God, last year was one sociopathic bastard after another. 2 named Bev. Well, it stops here and now. My beautiful little Beauregard is back from the vet. He has had his second parvo shot. 10 days till he is covered and requires a 3rd booster in exactly 1 month. Another $100. But then I need to scramble together the money to de-sex him ASAP. I have vouchers from the National De-Sexing Scheme, but I'm yet to call their vet at Woolloongabba for the cost. I get 30% off, but he also needs his hind dew claws removed. The vet said he is a Jack Russell cross, as I have suspected, so I got conned again by the people who sold him to me as a Maltese Shih Tzu cross. Never mind, I love little Beauregard. I also got him microchipped. It was very painful for him. Poor little mite. 6th of November. 6th of January 2015. Just had another prowler yelling out past my house. I went outside, asked him what he was looking for. He gave me a mouthful of cheek. I threatened him with the cops. He went up the road still yelling shit. So I told him to fuck off. Second time I've had weirdos going past my house at night. Cops will do nothing as usual. I'll be carrying my hockey stick at night. Holland Park Police, utterly useless, don't answer the phone. As usual, I will have to protect myself and my space. It's constant, people. Luckily, things have settled down in the last year or so. It got a bit scary during COVID, escalated again, but everyone seems to be lying very low and very quietly now. Ironic, isn't it? A friend asked, why is this stuff happening? I replied, good question. I am ropeable. It is some idiot in my neighbourhood. The cops are so ineffectual, it makes me sick. I did report it to PoliceLink, but the creep would have been long gone by then, so I told them there is no point sending out a mobile patrol. Harvey has arrived chez moi. Jared is leaving for Holland tomorrow, so I have Harvey for a week. Woot. 5:37 p.m. Home again, utterly exhausted. I have my referral for tomorrow though. The GP said my BP is good. I weigh 84.50 kilos. Well, shit, I weigh 90 now. Oops. I guess if I took off my Birkenstocks on my clothes, I would be 83 kilos. Look, honestly, I don't care. I'm alive. I'm sustaining my body the best I can given my health issues. And I'm dancing every weekend. And I'm living my best life, and fat is a feminist issue, babies. If you worry about it, you just get fatter. You stress out, and the more you stress, the more your subconscious says, I need to hold on, I need to armour up. 1:31 p.m, hit the ground running. I just had a long put-off blood test, then went to get my glasses. Mass screwed me over again, didn't use my good frames, and didn't return them. So they deliberately lost expensive frames that I was given and gave another pair of their shit ones that break in a week. I am ropeable, sick of being treated like a third-class citizen. They made me wait 3 months for the glasses too, bastards. And as you can see, I had to glue these together. I'm well overdue for new glasses, but I'm so traumatised by them, I've just put up with this. Don't even want to go anywhere near them. It's awful how I've been treated. It's awful and it's constant. It just enrages me. Now having lunch, then off to the doctor, not my usual one, to try to get a referral from my sleep specialist for my appointment at the PA hospital tomorrow. I hope that won't be another hassle, as it is for my medical for my driver's licence, which as it turned out my GP was obfuscating her role, sending me to a sleep specialist to get a medical for my driver's licence, which even he got enraged about. I said, it's not my fault, doctor. She's sending me here because she's a lazy cow. He actually got on the phone and gave her a piece of his mind. I mean, his job is to keep very sick, dying people with respiratory problems alive, not fill out bureaucratic little forms like a member of the SA in the fucking Nazi regime. It's insane what they were doing. Anyway, I had no difficulty getting my last forms filled out, the last GP. So that was nice. Thank you. The games they will play to avoid doing their job. It's unbelievable. 2:45 a.m. I had a lovely day today. Crystal came and had lunch with me. My corset arrived at long last, and Crystal helped me adjust the lacing. I got a call that my glasses are finally ready. I've been waiting since 20th of October for them, so have been livid, but will pick them up, the Savo. It's weird that it took, over 2 months, nearly 2.5 months. Gail and Talia visited yesterday Arvo so Miss T could see the kitten. Then after that I spent time in the garden, weaving my sylvanberry and passion fruit vines. Then I spent a nice time on Paltalk. 6th of January 2014. Just went outside to breathe the night air and be in my garden, sipping a Jack Daniels and Coke and watching my goldfish. Oh God, I can't remember the last time I kept Jack Daniels in my house. That's how poor I am. I guess, I spend the money on the weekend when I'm out and I'm drinking while I'm dancing, because I'm out and, in the dance scene enjoying my life, so I don't really need it at home. But yeah, it's just realised it's been that long since I've had grog in the house. I had a bit of beer recently. I noticed a fox outside my fence line, and when he saw me, he ran to the entrance to the forest and watched me. So I had to find the padlocks and lock up the chook tractor. It was good timing that I got the urge to soak up the night, or I would not have seen him and would have lost Elvira to him. He might be after the fish too. I have steel mesh on the pond to protect them from birds, but a fox will be able to push it off. Hopefully he doesn't bother. I am so sick with asthma, but will try to go swimming tomorrow. Maybe at Wynnum Beach. I need water. Sick of soaking in my own body fluids. Just gross. Storms forecast tomorrow, so that will cool the air down. Which, by the way, the lawnmower man hasn't fronted again. 1 p.m. now. It's raining. So, what the fuck? I am happy to be alive in spite of my shitful health and loving my government house and trying not to be bitter about my mother screwing me with the will and enriching her con artist husband and thieving daughters. I live on sacred space loaned to me by the government, and all the hard work I put in the garden is coming to fruition. My lime tree is fully grown now and in fruit. The heliconias are also flowering, and the dahlias are coming on. My family of origin were monstrous to me, but the universe blessed me with awesome, loving friends and provision from strangers, without whom I would not have lived to see the season of joy and freedom and healing. I must trust that there is limitless love, good times, and limitless potential ahead for me. There was a time when I thought I would never make it this far. This is one more station on the long journey to understanding. I wonder what new wonders await me. The Tanya, always hopeful, right? Am I right? Okay, lol. I had a rainbow lorikeet who loved to nestle under my hair at the back of my neck and whistle in my ear or breathe heavy into it. So I can't exactly call this guy crazy, because I've been there, done that, lol. Charlie's very quiet today. I'll have to go and spend some time with her when we finish this. How this man's epic beard saved a duckling's life is brilliantly beautiful, I must say. That was the article I was responding to. So grateful and happy about the storm and the fact it is still raining. Ye gods, we needed the water for the garden. I just harvested Lynn's grapes. They are delicious. We live in paradise. I wish my grapevine would do its thing, Peter kept an article on dragon fruit for me. They don't need much water, so I will starve it from now on. 17 years, and it only fruited for the first time last year, and they only live 20 years, which is technically not true, because that dragon fruit I've got, I've had it since 1996, so it's almost 30 years old, 28 years, something like that. Big storm coming. My lungs will feel so much better when the air cools. Yay. Julie wrote, awesome storm. I must say lightning flashes coming down just over there. Well to the east, lol. Eek, big one, and thunder. Me. I was covering Puppy's ears with each thunderclap. Puppy was Lynn's dog. She's a cattle dog, and she appreciated me drowning out the sound and licked my hands each time. Lovely girl. Heather wrote, and what a storm, but I am still so sweaty. It only cooled things for a short while. I replied, it's lovely here, but I am still damp, so that helps. Julie replied, you got a puppy now? I replied, no, Puppy is Lynn's dog. Was having a swim at her place before the storm hit. Just had a delicious swim. Thank you, Lynn and Peter. 6th of January 2012. Another hot day in paradise. 6th of January 2011. Frenetic, babbling, highly charged, gorgeous, humorous, interesting, out there, equals mood disordered. No wonder I've been cleaning for 4 days in a very disorderly fashion. So I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, as I've scattered my efforts all over the house. Starting a new medication tonight, so hopefully I'll be calm, centered, cool and collected with clean floors, laughing my ass off. No, just ended up munted and stunted and drooling and shuffling and acopic. Not cool, people, not cool. The Garden of Aaron's Delights. Smell the serenity. Day 6 of my captivity on planet Lovesick. Lol. My passion fruit vine, newly planted a few months ago, not the brand new one planted last week, startled me today when I went to tend its untidy tentacles, I meant tendrils, with several flower buds. I may have an early fruiter. I am blessed with fruits of my labours. My pomegranate, another little symbol of my passion, lol, also has 3 fruits on it. Also way too premature. My garden is abundant, fertile, magnanimous, and fortuitous. Blessings from above and below. Amen. My raspberry vine is also growing well, but my grapes of wrath, lol, got munched on by giant caterpillars from hell, which I was reluctant to murder because I was hoping to see amazingly huge butterflies. But in the end, they almost stripped it bare, so I had to remove them. The wonderland of Alice's mind is a beautiful thing, but when Alice isn't looking, the caterpillar is doing more than smoking hookahs. Oh, Lewis Carroll, I love you. I even had your magic little caterpillar mushroom podium back in March when Mum died. That was her send-off plant that sprouted in the garden 2 days before the funeral. So poignant, so symbolic of my occultist, mad mother. Even though she was anti-drugs, she would have so loved that enormous mushrooms appearance in my garden, because she loved mushrooms and even bought me a mushroom pendant when I was about 13. My grandmother, Eva, and Mum used to forage for mushrooms in the fields in Germany when she was a child. And here's a photo of the enormous mushroom that came up 2 days before my mother's funeral. And here it is, enhanced by my clever graphic designer friend, Jared. Oops, I meant tendrils, not tentacles. My passion is not an 8-legged octopus, although it probably should be, lol. Then I could swim all day in the octopus's garden. It's not a raspberry, but a blackberry. Oh, and when we came back from the funeral, my then boyfriend Courtney had ripped out the mushroom and thrown it in the bin. Came home to the shock of the mushroom had suddenly disappeared. I said, where the hell did that mushroom go? And he said, I threw it out because I was scared it would poison Bella if she chewed on it. He said it was enough to keep 5 men stoned for a week or something. I think he was just stoned. I don't think it was that kind of a mushroom, quite frankly. I mean, it wasn't edible, but I don't think it was the one that gets you high. Because if it was, he would have stashed it, trust me on that one. So it was just some weird fucking aberration in his brain that he pulled that mushroom out. It's just all about power and control, wasn't it? Because I was delighting in its appearance in my garden. Fucking idiots. I swear to God. Idiots that I have fucked. I could write a book about it, people. Oh, wait. Oops. Misunderstandings and ass out of you and me equals assume. Methinks I presume or assume too much. Oi. Just got an email from an old friend I had been grieving for from my childhood because I thought she had rejected me, and I grieved hard. Unnecessarily, by the way. Communicate, people. Fucking communicate. Turns out she'd had surgery and been recovering for 3 weeks. So I'd been upset for nothing, and it's kind of annoying because if she'd just communicated effectively and told me she was going in for surgery, I would not have upset myself for the wrong reasons. Now I feel like a schmuck, a chump and a fool, but I love her so much and am glad she is getting well again. I am overjoyed to hear from her again because I had thought I would not hear from her again. So phone, email or text to let the people you love know you care or care enough to let them know what is happening so they can phone, email or text or even Facebook to show they care for you too. Friendship is a two-way street, and without communication it's a dead end, a dead letter or a grief that does not need to be mourned. It's weird, as I'd been talking for 2 days to some friends about this person's father, funny little anecdotes and memories from our childhood, pardon me, and then she emails me tonight. I must have been picking up vibes, lol. Update, 6th of January 2021. No, I won't add that in because it's no longer relevant. But I was upset about dead end, dead letter, dead loss, one-sided relationships because I was grieving unnecessarily, and that's a form of psychic vampirism I can do without, just saying. Anyway, on that note, have a beautiful day, people of Earth, friends, family, supporters and YouTube audience. Stay safe, stay wild, stay free and stay joyous in the space-time continuum. And until we meet again, or communicate again, much love and blessings from Titania's realm, sacred space, and of course, the multiverses. Bye for now.